Do you know the hidden dangers lurking inside your favorite fast food burger or fries? Behind the cheap price and quick service lies a massive unseen industry that's impacting thousands of lives every year. Why is fast food so cheap? How can it be made so fast? And are you really safe eating it? In today's video, I'm going to reveal the shocking truths behind fast food, from health risks to environmental damage, from the suffering of workers to secrets the industry doesn't want you to know. These are the hidden facts no one usually tells you. Have you ever wondered how something so simple can be so harmful? After watching this video, you'll never look at fast food the same way again. So stay tuned till the end because what you learn might just change the way you eat forever. And hey, if you love deep dives into important books and eye-opening knowledge, subscribe to my channel, The Book Capsule, and hit the bell icon so you never miss an update. Now, let's dive into the dark side of fast food together. Fast Food Nation, The Dark Side of the All-American Meal. Author, Eric Schlosser. Author biography. Eric Schlosser is an American investigative journalist and author, born on August 17, 1959. He is known for his work in uncovering the hidden aspects of American culture and industry. Schlosser studied at Princeton University and later earned a graduate degree in British Imperial History from Oxford. His journalistic work is often rooted in deep investigation, tackling powerful institutions with bold honesty. Fast Food Nation, published in 2001, remains one of his most influential books, exposing the underbelly of the fast food industry. Schlosser also co-wrote the screenplay for the film adaptation of the book and has contributed to documentaries like Food, Inc., Publisher Information, Publisher, Houghton Mifflin Harcourt, first published, January 17, 2001, edition language, English, pages, approximately 356, original print, library name availability. You can find Fast Food Nation in various international and national libraries. Here are a few examples. Library holdings. 1. Library of Congress, USA. 2. British Library, UK. 3. New York Public Library, USA. 4. WorldCat, Global Library Catalogue. 5. National Library of Australia, online availability, Amazon, paperback, hardcover, Kindle edition, and audiobook, Google Books, preview and purchase, archive.org, free borrowing with account, Project Gutenberg, excerpt certain public reviews and critiques. Audible, full audiobook narrated by Rick Adamson, book overview, genre, investigative nonfiction, business, cultural critique, sociology, style, narrative journalism, combining storytelling with factual reporting. Purpose of the book. Eric Schlosser wrote Fast Food Nation to uncover the hidden mechanisms of the fast food industry in the United States and its global influence. His investigative journey traces the industry's history, its treatment of workers, its sourcing practices, its marketing to children, and its impact on public health, diet, and culture. Historical context. Published in 2001, the book emerged at a time when America was witnessing rapid globalization and increasing concerns about obesity, food safety, and corporate influence. McDonald's, Burger King, and other chains were dominating not just American streets but expanding into markets worldwide, including Asia, Europe, and the Middle East. Meanwhile, health professionals and activists were beginning to raise serious concerns about how processed food, sugar, and meat-heavy diets were affecting the public. Structure of the book. Fast Food Nation is divided into two major parts. Part 1, The American Way, Tracing the Rise of Fast Food and Its Cultural Roots. 2. Part 2, Meat and Potatoes, Exploring the Actual Production of Fast Food. From meatpacking to the kitchen, each chapter reveals shocking facts about marketing, labor abuse, food contamination, and capitalism's reach into the everyday diet of millions. Chapter 1, The Founding Fathers, Carl and Culture and the McDonald's Empire. Overview. This opening chapter of Fast Food Nation sets the stage for the entire book by focusing on the origins of the fast food industry in America. Eric Schlosser begins by telling the story of Carl and Culture, one of the pioneers of fast food, whose journey mirrors the rise of the industry itself. Culture, the founder of Carl's Jr., started with almost nothing and became a multi-millionaire. His story is one of the American dream, but it also reveals the deeper forces of capitalism, real estate, and changing lifestyles that fueled the explosion of fast food in post-World War II America. Key characters introduced: Carl and Culture, a humble man with Catholic values and entrepreneurial drive. He symbolizes the rags to riches spirit of the industry. Culture's family, supportive and integral to his early business ventures. The McDonald brothers, Dick and Mac, briefly introduced as innovators who would later transform the restaurant industry with their new system. Culture's journey, early life. Carl Culture was born in Ohio and later moved to Anaheim, California. He worked in a feed and seed store, and eventually got a job as a bread truck delivery man. From the start, he demonstrated a strong work ethic and religious values. First step into business. In 1941, with $15 in savings and a $311 loan against his Plymouth car, Carl and his wife Margaret bought a hot dog cart in Los Angeles. It was located near a Goodyear factory, which had lots of foot traffic. This cart marked the beginning of what would become Carl's Jr. Expansion and risk. Encouraged by early success, Carl expanded. But his growth wasn't just business savvy, it involved risk, ambition, and trust in God. He bought more carts and opened his first restaurant in Anaheim in 1945, just as the car culture was booming. Car culture and fast food, the rise of automobile ownership in post-World War II America changed everything. Drive-in restaurants and motels flourished. Americans were becoming more mobile, and convenience became king. Anaheim, California became a hotspot for this new lifestyle. It was home to Disneyland, military installations, and a sprawling network of highways. Fast food businesses thrived here. Fast food capitalized on speed, uniformity, and affordability, and businesses like Carl's Jr. took off by adapting to this culture. This growth was tightly linked with real estate speculation, as restaurant chains sought high-traffic highway locations. Corporate ideology and values. Carl Culture's conservative values, strong Catholic faith, anti-abortion stance, Republican support, became embedded in the company culture of Carl's Jr. Despite the family-oriented image, the company's growth was driven by aggressive expansion, labor cuts, and franchising, key traits of fast food business models. Rise of McDonald's. Although the focus is on culture, Schlosser introduces Ray Kroc, who would later franchise McDonald's and revolutionize the fast food business model. Kroc's system emphasized standardization, automation, and franchising, making McDonald's a global phenomenon. This approach inspired countless imitators, including Carl's Jr. Underlying themes. 1. The American dream versus corporate reality. Carl Culture's story reflects both the success and cost of capitalist ambition. 2. Cultural transformation. Fast food reshaped American culture, not just by changing eating habits, but by altering the landscape, the labor market, and the values of a generation. 3. Capitalism and religion. Schlosser subtly critiques how conservative, religious entrepreneurs like Karcher built empires that often contradicted their stated moral values, cutting wages, resisting unions, and prioritizing profit. Schlosser's narrative style. Schlosser blends investigative journalism with storytelling to humanize the industry. By focusing on Karcher, he avoids making the chapter feel like a dry business report. Instead, it reads like the story of a real person, a man with dreams, struggles, and contradictions. Quotes from Chapter 1. The birth of fast food coincided with a post-war celebration of abundance, speed, and convenience. Karl Karcher had an abiding faith in God, and in the power of capitalism. Anaheim had become a paradigm of the new American city, shaped not by people, but by cars. Conclusion of Chapter 1. The chapter ends with the realization that what began as a simple hot dog stand had transformed into a multi-million-dollar empire. Yet, as Schlosser hints, this growth came with unseen consequences, ones that the rest of the book will explore in depth. Here is the detailed summary of Chapter 2, Your Trusted Friends from Fast Food Nation by Eric Schlosser. Chapter 2, Your Trusted Friends. In this chapter, Schlosser shifts the focus from the entrepreneurs who built the fast food empires to the strategic marketing techniques they employed to capture the minds and stomachs of the American public, especially children. The title, Your Trusted Friends, refers to the way fast food companies, particularly McDonald's, present themselves as friendly, wholesome, and trustworthy figures, using cartoons, mascots, and entertainment to build brand loyalty from an early age. Key points. 1. Targeting children. The fast food industry aggressively markets to children, understanding that brand loyalty formed in childhood often continues for life. Children influence billions of dollars in spending not only for themselves but also for their families. Schlosser introduces the concept of the nag factor, where children are trained, through marketing, to pester parents into buying fast food. 2. Ray Kroc's genius. Ray Kroc, the man behind McDonald's franchising success, recognized early on that the customer is the child, not the parent. Under Kroc, McDonald's embraced colorful playgrounds, Happy Meals, and Ronald McDonald as ways to make the brand a childhood institution. 3. Advertising strategy. Schlosser exposes the manipulative nature of modern marketing techniques, drawing on research in psychology, cognitive development, and behavioral science. Children as young as 2 can recognize the McDonald's logo. By age 8, most children have deep brand preferences. Fast food companies work with psychologists and child development experts to craft marketing that is nearly impossible for young minds to resist. 4. Mascots and emotional branding. Ronald McDonald is one of the most recognized figures in the world, second only to Santa Claus among American children. Characters like Ronald are not just fun, they are designed to build trust and foster emotional connections with children. These mascots appear in television ads, books, school materials, birthday parties, and public events, embedding themselves in everyday life. 5. School infiltration. Fast food advertising has entered schools in multiple ways: sponsored educational materials, fundraisers, vending machines, and food contracts. Schlosser describes how schools, desperate for funding, often compromise their nutritional values and educational mission to accommodate corporations. 6. The rise of cross-promotion. McDonald's partnered with Walt Disney in one of the most powerful brand alliances in history. Movies, toys, and fast food became a synergistic package, reinforcing each other and reaching children in cinemas, at home, and in restaurants. This co-branding strategy helped fuel McDonald's dominance in the minds of young consumers. 7. The power of brand loyalty. Schlosser explains that the industry doesn't just sell burgers, it sells experiences, lifestyles, and identity. Kids grow up not just liking fast food, they associate it with happiness, reward, and fun. This creates consumers who are emotionally tied to a brand rather than just enjoying its product. 8. Legal and ethical concerns. Child psychologists, nutritionists, and educators have voiced concerns about child-targeted marketing, yet the industry remains largely unregulated. Efforts to restrict marketing to children have been opposed by powerful lobbies who frame it as an issue of free speech and parental responsibility. Schlosser points out that children do not possess the mental faculties to critically assess advertisements, making the practice ethically questionable. Notable quotes from Chapter 2, The fast food industry's marketing efforts, perhaps more than any other business in the United States, rely upon convincing children to eat their products. A person who has eaten McDonald's hamburgers as a child will always be a customer. That's how it works. The goal was to create brand imprinting, permanent emotional associations with a logo and a set of flavors. Real-world impact. The chapter makes it clear that the fast food industry intentionally builds a customer base from preschool age onward. With 1/3 of American children overweight or obese, Schlosser warns of the consequences of such marketing. Fast food companies' efforts to portray themselves as family-friendly hide a more cynical reality: profit-driven exploitation of children's minds and diets. Themes in focus. 1. Childhood commercialization. The innocence of children is exploited by sophisticated, well-funded marketing machines. 2. Corporate power in education. Public institutions like schools are becoming extensions of corporate strategy. 3. Emotional engineering. Loyalty isn't about food quality, it's about emotional manipulation. Schlosser's journalistic tone. Schlosser does not rant, he investigates, documents, and presents the facts with clarity and compelling detail. He supports every argument with research, statistics, interviews, and real examples. This makes the narrative powerful, disturbing, and trustworthy. Schlosser points out that children do not possess the mental faculties to critically assess advertisements, making the practice ethically questionable. Notable quotes from Chapter 2, The fast food industry's marketing efforts, perhaps more than any other business in the United States, rely upon convincing children to eat their products. A person who has eaten McDonald's hamburgers as a child will always be a customer. That's how it works. The goal was to create brand imprinting, permanent emotional associations with a logo and a set of flavors. Real-world impact. The chapter makes it clear that the fast food industry intentionally builds a customer base from preschool age onward. With 1/3 of American children overweight or obese, Schlosser warns of the consequences of such marketing. Fast food companies' efforts to portray themselves as family-friendly hide a more cynical reality: profit-driven exploitation of children's minds and diets. Themes in focus. 1. Childhood commercialization. The innocence of children is exploited by sophisticated, well-funded marketing machines. 2. Corporate power in education. Public institutions like schools are becoming extensions of corporate strategy. 3. Emotional engineering. Loyalty isn't about food quality, it's about emotional manipulation. Schlosser's journalistic tone. Schlosser does not rant, he investigates, documents, and presents the facts with clarity and compelling detail. He supports every argument with research, statistics, interviews, and real examples. This makes the narrative powerful, disturbing, and trustworthy. Conclusion of Chapter 2. You Trusted Friends reveals that the rise of fast food is not merely due to taste or affordability, but due to deliberate psychological manipulation of children. These companies are not just selling food, they are selling a lifestyle from the youngest age possible. Schlosser paints a troubling picture of how corporate advertising infiltrates the most vulnerable parts of society, our children and our schools. Here is the detailed summary of Chapter 3, Behind the Counter from Fast Food Nation by Eric Schlosser. Chapter 3, Behind the Counter. In Behind the Counter, Schlosser turns his attention to the people who make fast food possible, the workers, especially teenagers, immigrants, and low-wage earners. He explores how fast food restaurants have transformed American labor practices, creating a workforce designed for maximum control, minimum cost, and zero union power. The chapter provides a human face to the hidden labor that fuels the $100 billion fast food empire. Key concepts and focus. 1. Teenagers as ideal workers. Fast food companies prefer teenagers because they are energetic, easily trained, less likely to demand fair wages or unionize. Many teens see it as a first job, a stepping stone, but companies see them as disposable labor. 2. Turnover is a strategy. The industry has an extremely high employee turnover rate, often exceeding 300% annually. This is intentional. Frequent turnover keeps wages low and discourages labor organizing. Employers save money by avoiding long-term employee benefits like healthcare or raises. 3. Standardization over skill. Most tasks in fast food restaurants are de-skilled and reduced to simple steps. Workers are trained to perform repetitive motions rather than use critical thinking. Machines and software dictate timing for flipping burgers, dropping fries, or pouring drinks. This mirrors Henry Ford's assembly line model. Fast food kitchens are industrial food factories. 4. Colorado Springs, a case study. Schlosser focuses on Colorado Springs, Colorado, as a microcosm of the national trend. In the 1970s, it transformed from a military town into a fast food hub. By the 1990s, it was saturated with fast food chains, and the culture of temporary, low-wage jobs had taken over. 5. Lack of job security and safety. Fast food workers suffer from burns, cuts, and stress, often working without proper training or protective gear. Safety is neglected to save money, and many accidents go unreported. Teenagers, especially, are vulnerable and often too intimidated to complain. 6. Immigrants and exploitation. In addition to teens, undocumented immigrants make up a growing portion of the workforce. They often accept dangerous jobs at lower wages, afraid to speak out due to legal status. Companies benefit from their silence, avoiding compliance with labor laws. 7. Anti-union tactics. Fast food corporations like McDonald's have aggressively fought unionization. They hire law firms and specialists to disrupt union drives and fire organizers. Many workers are unaware of their rights, and companies intentionally keep it that way. 8. Low pay despite high profits. While CEOs and franchises make millions, frontline workers often earn minimum wage or less. The chapter highlights the widening income gap in the fast food economy. 9. Lack of benefits. Most fast food workers receive no health insurance, no paid sick leave, no job security. Workers who miss a shift due to illness are often fired or replaced immediately. 10. Fast food and the American work ethic. Fast food jobs were once promoted as a way to learn responsibility. Schlosser questions this idea, arguing that these jobs teach obedience, not initiative. Real-life worker testimonies. Schlosser includes quotes and stories from young workers in Colorado Springs. Many describe road customers, intense pressure to work fast, favoritism among managers, unsafe working environments. Notable quotes from Chapter 3. The fast food industry pays the minimum because it can. The management system is designed to control every aspect of the worker's behavior. Turnover isn't a problem, it's the business model. Wider implications. 1. Labor rights. The chapter calls attention to the erosion of fair labor standards in America. Fast food jobs set a precedent for other low-wage sectors, weakening the labor movement. 2. Youth and economic pressure. The reliance on teen labor reflects deeper social issues, rising cost of living, educational pressures, economic instability. 3. Corporate hypocrisy. Companies often advertise themselves as offering career growth, but few workers rise beyond low-level management. Real advancement is rare, and most workers leave without long-term benefits. Team connections. Dehumanization of labor. Workers become cogs in a profit machine. Illusion of upward mobility. Promises of the American dream are often myths for fast food workers. Control versus empowerment. The system discourages innovation and critical thought. Schlosser's investigative style. Schlosser combines statistics, case studies, and interviews to expose the underbelly of the labor system. His tone remains measured but urgent, allowing facts to speak louder than outrage. Conclusion of Chapter 3. Behind the counter dismantles the idealized image of fast food jobs as easy, fun, or educational. Instead, it reveals a system built on exploitation, corporate greed, and the erosion of workers' rights. The shiny, efficient front counter of a McDonald's hides a reality of poverty, wages, unsafe conditions, and deliberate labor instability. Chapter 4. Success. In Success, Eric Schlosser contrasts the dazzling financial success of fast food corporations and executives with the exploitative practices that make such profits possible. The chapter explores how the fast food model has been replicated, scaled, and perfected, transforming not only the restaurant business but also real estate, finance, and corporate culture. Key points. Themes. 1. Financial triumph of fast food chains. By the 1990s and early 2000s, companies like McDonald's, Burger King, Taco Bell, and Wendy's had become billion-dollar giants. McDonald's alone served over 20 million customers daily and operated in over 100 countries. These corporations succeeded by creating uniform, scalable systems that turned food preparation into a tightly controlled business. 2. Franchising as a business model. Fast food's expansion was fueled by franchising, a system in which individuals buy the right to operate a store under a company's name. While it promises independence, franchising often limits actual freedom. Franchisees must follow strict operational procedures, pay significant fees and royalties, take on all the financial risk. The corporations retain control over pricing, layout, uniforms, and suppliers, without owning the stores themselves. The Illusion of independence masks a form of corporate feudalism. 3. Real estate, the hidden empire. McDonald's is not just a fast food company, it is also one of the largest real estate holders in the world. The company often owns the land and buildings of its franchises, making money through rent and real estate appreciation. This model ensures steady revenue regardless of store-level profits. The real secret to McDonald's success lies not in the burgers but in the land beneath them. 4. Ray Kroc and the cult of personality. Schlosser dives deeper into Ray Kroc's legacy, highlighting his focus on efficiency, his belief in discipline, his interest in public image. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you found this video eye-opening and thought-provoking. Please let me know in the comments how you felt about it. I'd love to hear your thoughts and experiences. Don't forget to like this video if you found it helpful, share it with your friends and family, and subscribe to the book Capsule for more insightful content. Stay tuned for the next video coming soon. Remember, developing healthy eating habits is key to staying strong and well. Take care of yourself, stay healthy, and stay happy.